Well, today what I want to show you is I want to show you our project assembled. So I'm going to go into our projects folder. There's my tool post already, so I'm done. It's already highlighted. I can go into new, and then I'm going to go into my assembly, metric assembly, and open that up. And we have a new ribbon up here that you can see that gives us all kinds of new things to do, but most of it's going to be down in this area here, the component and the positioning at this point in time, and then we'll do some things a little bit later about using manage and iParts. Okay, so but first we're just going to start off the basics. So first thing I'm going to do is going to go into my place icon here, and this brings up all the components that are in that folder that's called my tool post. You can see right there, there's the tool post. Okay, so there's all my parts that are in the tool post. Okay, so I'm looking at the parts here, and the part that's most important in this is the first part that you put in, because that's the part that's not going to move. We call it being grounded. Okay, it's a grounded part. So that is the first part I'm going to put in here, and that's going to be my tool post holder. I'm going to go to open, and you can put in as many as you want by just clicking. I could just click, 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 and I'd have 20 of them in here, but I only want one, so I'm going to hit escape. Now the first thing that I want to do is I want to get this in a position that I'm comfortable with. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to front. Okay, and there's my object. It's the way I want to see it. I'm going to go up to my home, right click, and I'm going to go set current view front. Okay, then I'm going to go up to the view cube and pick my top right corner. Okay, and I'm going to go right click on the home again, and I'm going to set current view as home, and I'm going to go view to fit, or fit to view, excuse me, fit to view. And that means as I add things, everything will be in my view. If I was to select the other fixed distance, it would zoom in to exact the same distance every time. And if I added things, they might be out of the frame of the screen. So that's why I picked this fit to view. Okay, so I'm a happy camper here. I can just, as you can see, I can control things just like we did in 3D in AutoCAD. Okay, now the easiest constraint is going to be mate. So we're going to start with a piece that we can mate. Okay, and I'm going to go to place. Okay, and I'm looking at my parts, and the first thing I'm going to bring in is my wedge. I'm going to go open. Okay, and I'm going to pick once and then hit escape. Okay, there's my wedge. Now my wedge actually goes the other way. It's 180 out. So I'm just going to rotate here, pick the object, and just swing it around, and just get it sorted into play. Okay. In fact, you can cheat a little bit and just hold it up here like that, so I can get to both this face and this face where I want to mate it. Okay. Escape. Okay. Then I'm going to go up to constraint. Okay. I'm already in mate. Okay, and I'm already in face-to-face mate, so I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to go apply, and I'm going to let it slide up and down here. Okay, there it's going up and down. Okay, and I'm going to look through here. Notice it's gotten mated to the side there, and I don't want it. So I'm going to go over to my browser, and I'm going to open up my adjusting wedge. I'm going to go get out of this here, and I'm going to click on the mate that is, and that's that face mate over on the side here. If I go around here and go to mate, you can see that that's mating to this face here, and I don't want it to, so I'm going to go delete. Now I have the ability to move it in and out, and that's going to become important as I bring the other parts in here. I only want it to be mounted on the face, this face right here. That's the only thing I want it to be constrained to. So let's work on this little part here. So let's bring another part in place, and I'm going to go into the adjusting screw, and I'm going to bring that open. Okay. Now, the first thing you would think, and I'm going to rotate this because I like to get things in a somewhat position that's sort of ready for them to go in. Okay. You might think when we go up here to our constraints that I would want to use insert, and I could use insert, and I will show you how insert works. Okay, so I could go to insert, and what I would probably do is swing around here, pick this face, and then swing around here, and I'm going to use my rotation, okay, and I hit escape, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to go face to face insert, okay, and on this piece, see, I can cycle through things by using these little arrows, okay. This is going to work quite well for this, okay, but I'm going to show you in a little bit that we don't always want to use insert. Now you can see that this is in that hole, it's inserted, it doesn't move anything except it rotates, but I don't want it to rotate, so that's why I didn't fix this one. I want these two to be fixed. So I'm going to go to constraint, okay, I'm going to pick the mate, face mate, go to there, swing around here, whoops, swing around, and I'm going to go find that face right there, and I'm going to apply, okay. And the thing that I'm hoping, if I get escape, is that this is going to be able to slide up and down on here. This adjusting screw does not move. It's a fixed object. This wants to slide up and down. This is important, okay? We want to be able to have motion in our assemblies. Okay, the next thing I'm going to bring in here is I'm going to bring in my cutting tool, because that's going to go on top of my wedge. And I'm going to open, and there's my cutting tool, okay? And I escape, and I hit escape twice actually, and then I'm going to rotate this a little bit, okay? And in this case, this is going to be a straight ahead. I don't need it to move. I want it to be affixed to the wedge. So I'm going to go to constraint. I'm going to go face to face, pick this bottom, pick that top, okay, and apply. And while I'm there, then I'm going to go flush. We haven't used flush before, but I'm going to use flush. I want to flush this face to this face. There we go. And I'm going to go apply. Okay. Now this should move. You can see that they move somewhat together, but I actually don't want them to move the way they are. Okay. If I go to this cutting tool and look at these and see if there's anything about adjusting them, there isn't. That's great. So I can go in here and I can do a constraint again. And I'm going to do this flush constraint again. I'm going to pick the back of this and this face here. Okay. Now notice the offset immediately jumped to 56, and I haven't figured out why it's doing that. I don't know if it's just on my machine at home or if it's on my machine at school too. I haven't played with it yet. I need to find out, but I think it's a setting that's up in one of the tools management settings. So anyway, I'm going to go to 0 and notice it came all the way down there, okay? And I'm going to go apply. So that is now fixed as a single entity, okay? I'm going to have to change this a little bit later, just you'll see, okay? So we're doing pretty good here. Things are going together really well, okay? So now we have a couple screws that hold the distance of the cutter in and out where you want it, and that's these two little socket head screws. So I'm going to go and open, and I'm going to bring one, and I'm going to click again, and that's going to make two, and I'm going to go done. Okay, I just hit a right click and went done. Now I'm looking at these here, and I'm seeing that this end is the end that needs to go into my block, and so I'm going to rotate these, because at the other end you'll see there is my little hex head. Okay, there's the hex head that I want for my Allen wrench to be able to adjust these. Okay, so escape and go to rotate, pick the object and move it around. Okay, and I'm just doing that for myself. Now this is going to be a change in how we put these pieces in. Okay, I'm going to stay in mate. You might think it would be insert, but the trouble with insert is insert wants to define it at a certain point to a certain point, and then you can't move it. I just want this to be in the hole, and I want to be able to have adjustment in and out of the hole. Okay, so I'm going to leave it on mate. I'm going to come over here, and highlight my piece, and you'll see as I get towards the end there's a little green dot. I do not want that. We don't want that. So we're going to come up here, try to stay in the middle so that we only get the axis. I'm going to hit the green button if I need to, just to confirm that. Then I'm going to come over here, and again I want just the axis. So I'm going to, there it is, I'm going to just go OK, and then I'm going to go apply, and then I'm going to get out of here. And I want to show you that now I can slide this, but it only will slide on that axis. I can go all the way through, and we're gonna constrain it in a few seconds, but right now that's what I wanted. Okay, and that's a really unique thing that I still want to use mate. I don't want to use insert in this case. Okay, there's my axis. I'm coming over here. There's my axis, and I'm applying. Okay, so both of these are good to go. Now we're going to apply our next constraint to these two objects. Okay, and I'm going to come around here and zoom around, and I'm going to go to constraint. I'm going to go mate. I'm going to pick this face here, and I'm going to check this button. It says use offset as resting position. Okay, and I'm going to pick this face here, and again I want to make sure it's at 0. Okay, and go apply, and then I'm going to go same thing again, and I'm going to pick this face here. I'm going to come around here and pick this face here, and I'm going to go that use offset in resting position, and I'm going to make sure this is at 0 and go OK and close out. Okay, so you can see that our pieces, if I have to get, for you to see this, I have to get around here a little bit and go into the front here, and you can see that they are just absolutely resting flush against that, but I can still move this object. I haven't fixed anything. Everything still has movement. Okay, and if I was to move this in or out, these would move in or out. Okay, let's show you that. Okay, what I'm going to do is go over to my browser here. Okay, and I'm going to look for my cutting tool, and if I highlight here, if I bring slowly over, you can see the highlighting of what is going on here. There's a flush, and there's a mate, and there's a mate. So I think it's this flush here, right there. I'm going to go on my side just to confirm that. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and find out which is that flush right there. There's my flush, and now I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to just click on this. Notice there's a number down here at the bottom. I have to, and I'm going to go 2 millimeters and go enter, and let's go see what happened. Look, our screw moved right with it. It is absolutely still flush, and that's what's really wonderful about this. So that it gives you that ability. So again, I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go, and we can just watch it, 1 millimeter, and hit enter. It just moves beautifully. Okay, so that's right where it should be. It's right in the middle of my wedge. I really like that. Okay, so let's go around top here again, and hit escape, and let's go place, and let's go bring in some new parts, and let's go bring the 2-pull screws in. These are my favorite screws. I think these look so cool with that little built-in wedge. Okay, and they're all ready to go in. And I'm going to go to constraint, and again I'm going to use the make constraint with using the axis constraint, and there we go. And again, jumping all over the place, but I'm going to go to 0, and I'm going to be happy. Okay, and then I'm going to do this one more time. Pick that and that, and I will give extra credit to anybody that can figure this out, why this is doing this. Okay, now you'll notice that these can go up and down. Okay, and that this one can go up and down. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down here a little bit, right about there. Okay, I'm going to go to constraint. Okay, I'm going to go to, I'm here in my mate, and I'm going to go in my flush, but I'm also going to hit this use offset resting limits. And what I should do is do it without. Let me show you what happens. So I'll do it without that. I'll pick this face right here, come back up on top, pick that face, zero it out, okay, and apply. Okay, and notice I cannot move this. Okay, I can't move my wedge in and out anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go to my tool post screw that has that mate. I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to highlight that box, use the offset resting position, and go OK. And now I should be able to slide that. And look at the tool post screw jump up and down with it. You can see this is going to be a lot of fun a little bit later on. I hope you can see that anyway. I think it's going to be fun. So now we're going to go down and place. Oh, we're not going to place anything. We're going to constrain this other one, selecting my resting, okay, and my flush and my pick, and I'll rotate into my view and pick that and make sure that's a 0. And I'm going to go apply and OK. And there we go. Now you can see that this moved way out here in space, but I do believe it'll still just move right here for me. Okay. So this is just looking really great. I'm really happy with this. Okay. So now let's see how this works. I want to see when I bring this in. I don't want to go any lower than that. Okay, so that's a constraint. So I'm fine there. Okay, and I can go up. I can go all the way up to about there. Okay, so I got plenty of movement. My tool post is in a really nice place, and I'm good. Okay, let's bring in some more parts, and let's go ahead and place this part here, and that will be this slotted washer. Okay, and while I'm at it, I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to place one more piece, and I'll bring this adjusting nut in. Okay. And you can bring everything in if you want, but I just do it a little at a time. There's less stuff on the screen. Okay. So again, I'm going to go up here and go to my constraint. I want to use my axial constraint and axial constraint. Oh, and it went the wrong way, but I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to go apply that, and then I'm going to go face, and I'm going to pick this face and this face, and I want to reverse that, and that's the first one I had that hasn't worked for me. Okay, so I'm going to undo this, and again, this is one of the reasons that I like to rotate things into position so that I don't have to fight them about when they go on to an object. Okay, and we'll just move that right up there and constrain. Going to the axial constraint, going to the axial constraint. Notice it just popped right on there the way we want it. Okay, I'm going to go apply. I'm going to go make constraint this face here. Oh, let's see if we can do this. See this little edge right here? Let's see if I can do that, and that's what I want to do, and I want to do it to that edge there, and I think it's going to be a conflict. Yep, I was pretty sure it was going to be a conflict. Okay, so we're going to go face and swing around here and face and make sure that's a 0 and apply. And here is an issue that I haven't been able to solve. You can see that I can rotate this, okay? And I haven't been able to resolve this yet. So I will find out what to do about that. But let's swing around here just for fun and get around here. And I'm going to go into my view, and I'm going to look at my wireframe, and I'm going to come in here, and I want to see if I actually have a flush. And it has to do with the tolerances that are on our pieces of machinery. And you can see that it actually isn't flushed up, okay? And that I can't really flush it up and have this sit flush in here, okay? And also what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a conflict. Do you see this conflict? I'm seeing a conflict with this slot, okay? Do you see that? The slot is not as wide as the bolt. So either I've made a mistake in my slot or my bolt, okay? So I think we'll come back to that in a few minutes, and we'll check that out and see if we can fix that. And that might be why I'm not able to constrain this and keep it from turning, because I don't have any play here, okay? So now I'm going to go and get back into my shaded. How about shaded with edges? I like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, and we're going to real quickly go to Assemble, Constraint. I'm going to pick the axial, and it flipped it around. Okay, and I know there's a way to turn that, and I have not been able to figure that out. But I'm going to just get out of it, and I'm going to bring my object over here, and I'm going to rotate that. There should be like a reverse on this, and I haven't been able to find it. So I got a couple things that I'm going to ask Mike about, and but all in all, I think if you just line things up, we'll be just fine. There we go, and apply. And if I escape, this should slide in and out. Okay. Oops. Constrain. Pick this face here, and pick this face here, and make sure that's a 0. And I'm also going to use my offset resting. Apply. And close. Excuse me, close. So that means everything will move together again, okay? Great. Okay, we just got a couple more things to put together and we are good. So place components. I have 3 components to place. I need to draw bolt, open, escape, place component, handle, open, escape, place component, and flat washer. Open. There we go. Escape. Take the flat washer up here, do a little rotation on it for myself here, get it sort of in position. Okay. Take my bolt here, rotate it, get it in position. When I used to do this on a daily basis, I would draw things in a certain way when I was creating my parts files, and they would come into the drawing almost exactly the way I wanted them, which was really a nice thing. Okay, just stick that down there. Go into constraint, and again, I'm going to use my mate with my axial, and come over here and find this hole. Now, see the green? I don't want that. There, right? I use my little green arrows to go and cycle through it. I want the axial. There it is. Okay, and go apply. And I'm going to go constraint, and I'm going to go for I'm just going to wait there. Should get a little box. It gives me the choice, and I don't want either one of those, so I'm going to escape and constraint. I want this actual. There's one, and I'm not getting the sometimes you have to zoom in. That helps. Zooming in will help you get that actual. Okay, and apply. And then I'm going to go constraint. I'm going to go face. And now here's this little trick. I'm reaching through, and I'm going to cycle. Notice I got a little arrow right. Let's see if I can do this again. Okay, get this over here. Okay, see the arrow right under my cursor? It's showing me which surface. And I just click until I get it and go OK. And make sure it's a 0. Again, extra credit for whoever figures out how to keep this thing from bouncing around. It drives me nuts. Okay, but and finally one more axial. Okay, and we'll get this axial, and go that with a 0, and OK, and now notice that place that right down on top of my right over the top of my washer. So I need one more, and that's going to be constrained. I'm going to pick the face of this washer, and I'm going to come in here and pick the bottom here, and I'm just going to go around it until I have a choice. Right there. See it? I'm cycling through axial, point, face, and face. And OK, and 0. And apply. Oh, I did something wrong there. I don't think I hit apply. Face. Cycle through. There we go. And apply. Okay, and escape. Now that handle should turn. That's all we care about. Okay. And later on we're going to make this turn and make this go up and down at the same time, but we're not going to do that today. Okay. So that's my lesson for right now. It's 24 minutes. That's a good place to stop, and we'll come back to this.